So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a real problem here. And the real problem is centered around LA. And finally, I'm not talking about the Lakers. I'm talking about the Clippers. I watched Steve Ballmer in that bubble last night, and he looked like he wanted a refund on that new Inglewood Arena. Like, he looked like he saw a capitulation right in front of his eyes. And on a serious note, the Clippers lack leadership. Yeah, so Mo, I have nothing else to say to you no more. You squander a 3-1 lead, leadership is out of the window. Yeah, so Mo, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to be introduced to the gospel I've been preaching for a number of years. We're going to have a serious conversation right now about a man named Glenn, a man who goes by the name of Doc, Mr. Doc Rivers, head coach of the LA Clippers. Now, I want to remind you guys that this is a man who left the Boston Celtics, the greatest franchise to ever exist, because he didn't want to be part of a rebuild, and he said he only coaches contending teams. Well, guess what, Mr. Rivers? Since you left, you never once made a conference finals. The Boston Celtics, with their young players, they're playing teenagers, they're playing 20-year-olds. They get into the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times in 4 years. So what's really going on here? With the talent that he's had over the years in these LA Clippers teams, and you still can't make a conference finals, and this is what blows my mind, and this is the reason why I'm getting on to Doc Rivers. All storyline aside, Nikola Jokic is the best passing big man I've seen in my lifetime. And your strategy for a Game 7, after giving up a 3-1 lead, was to go and double team this man, the guy who's 7 foot and can see over whichever defender you come and double team him with, creating a 4-on-3 offense for the Denver Nuggets. Why did you just turn up for the game? Why not just stay in the locker room and say, you know what, you guys just win this one, because we're not even going to bother doing anything proper anyway? Why we got Jamal Green getting minutes in the fourth quarter here? Why we got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George making 0 shots down the stretch in the fourth quarter? What really happened with this LA Clippers team is they fell apart. And this, for me, is why they're falling apart, is you've seen the importance. And remember when we had this debate about load management at the start of the season, Jaydee? Yeah. This team did not play games together throughout the year. They either had Kawhi or they had Paul George or they had neither of them. And then on like Christmas Day at the big games, they'd magically come and play together and they won a couple of the games and everyone got excited. They're not a team. This is what I was saying to Mike before. Kawhi Leonard on the Toronto Raptors last year, you've seen how well the Toronto Raptors have done since he left because they're a cohesive unit. They're a team. Basketball's a team game. The Clippers have collected some great individual basketball players. But what's happened to them is what I said would happen to them when they signed Marcus Morris, is when things don't go well, Marcus Morris is going to pull up for a contested mid-range jump shot. We've got Lou Williams, 6th man of the year for how many years? Now we're starting to see the cracks in it. We seen Lou Will win 6th man of the year when he was the best player on bad teams and he just decided to come off the bench because he liked it better. That's why he looked like a good 6th man. How about now when he's got to share the ball with other superstars? You know, we're seeing playoff P. Come on, are we really back here having this conversation? We're really back here having the same conversation about playoff P. He's playoff L. Playoff L. That's what he is, bro. Ever since he gave himself that nickname, he has fumbled every single elimination game that he's played. Look at what happened last night. 0 points in the fourth quarter. And it's not like he was just missing tough shots. Come on. We watched the man shoot a 3 from the corner, the easiest 3-point shot in the NBA, and it hits the side of the backboard. Do you know how difficult it is? I would tell you this. It's easier to score than it is to hit the backboard at that angle. It would have just been easier for the ball to go in. Every single elimination game since he gave himself that nickname, he has absolutely crumbled when the pressure has come onto him. Now, you know, I understand, you know, not everyone can be a great player in this league, but Kawhi Leonard, the man that we were all talking about being the best playoff player in the NBA, the man who won a championship almost single-handedly with his giant claw last year, why did he not hit a shot in the fourth quarter either? What's really going on here? What I've heard and what's been reported is that the LA Clippers were tired during the fourth quarter. Players only wanted to play 3-minute stretches because they were tired. Now, the Denver Nuggets just came back from 3-1 down against the Utah Jazz. And then they've just come back from 3-1 down against you. Do you know how exhausting that is? And Nikola Jokic, who is in about as good a shape as I am, is out there playing the whole game? Really? Really? And you guys are telling me on the Clippers, oh, we're tired. Coach, give me a rest. I'm tired. It's been 3 minutes. I need a breather. What's good? This is why load management hasn't worked. They're not used to grinding out wins when they need to. All credit has to go to the Denver Nuggets here, though. I can get onto the LA Clippers as much as I want. Credit has to go to Mike Malone, who made these Nuggets play absolutely amazing basketball. Team basketball is what I want to emphasize. The credit has to go to Jamal Murray, who I just want to say, my brother, welcome to Beard Gang, because ever since you grew that quarantine beard, your game has stepped up a whole nother level. And Nikola Jokic, and the biggest factor for me was Gary Harris. Ever since he's rejoined this team, you know, he's brought this energy. I've seen him. He's 6'2", 6'3", crashing the offensive boards, bringing those hustle plays, those winning plays. Paul Millsap. Now, he was a huge X factor as well, especially after he got into it with Marcus Morris. I think in Game 4, Marcus Morris told him to go pack his bags, and now look who's laughing. So, you know, all credit goes to the Nuggets. They've done a great job. My hat goes off to them. The LA Clippers, the LA 3-1 lead Clippers. Listen, let me tell you something, Jaydee. Let me tell you something. They have ruined my week. Do you know how they've ruined my week? You know, I come to these shows every week. I come correct with a fresh fade. My fade is not fresh. You know why? I can't go to the barbershop because I don't trust the Clippers. I do not trust Clippers right now. Do not put Clippers around my head. My fade has expired and I don't care. This is the first time you've ever seen me. Remember the lockdown? I was wearing a hat every week. I'm not even got a haircut this week. I can't have Clippers around me. They've ruined it. They've ruined it. I'm done with this.
Are you tired? You got 3 minutes. Do you need a break? Do you need a break?
I do not need a break.
Are you okay?
I'll go for the full 48. You know me. I don't know choking us.
That was great. Oh, yeah. That was great.
BJ.
Bro, the breath control was incredible. I don't know. I can't follow that. You can't follow that.
Yeah, follow it. I need to hear it. Yeah, we still got 2 takes. Yeah, this Clippers team has no leadership. I'm telling you, they have no leadership. DJ Armstrong.
Well, you know, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, Mo hit it all there, but I will say this. You know, it's going to be easy to jump on the Clippers, jump on what they don't have, and so forth and so on. You know, I don't want to take away from Jokic. Jokic was absolutely brilliant. He was brilliant, and you know, I'm a little older than Mo, so when I say I don't say this lightly. Sometimes you'll see something you've never seen before. And Jokic, people will say, well, he's maybe the best passing big man. Well, there's been a lot of great players that have played in this league. There hasn't been a big man that has passed the ball with him off the move. You know, he's doing things that we just haven't seen in the NBA. I mean, he'll rebound it, push it out, lead the fast break, make the correct pass, a bounce pass. He can accept the double team pass with either hand, left hand or right hand. They did something last night that I've never seen before. They do a down screen for your 5-man. He curls it and then passes with his left hand for a layup. You know, he's throwing the ball over his head. He's doing everything he's just doing things I've never seen at the 5 position on the move. That is very, very, very unique in the NBA. And I've been around for a few years. I haven't seen a guy like that. And I don't want to take away from his brilliance and what he was able to do. Now, why is that so important when you're talking about the team? The only thing, the criticism that I have for the Clippers, if any, is the following. At some point, you have to break the rhythm of the other team. And I'll go back to the finals of last year. Nick Nurse did something that just had me in tears when I first saw him doing it. He went to a 0-1 in the NBA finals. I was like, that's something that, you know, you'll see at like a college game or a CYO game or a youth game, high school game. He decides to pull out the 0-1 in the NBA finals. And I thought, you know what? That takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of courage to do because he had to try to do something to break the rhythm. And the reason I'm bringing this up is the only thing that the Clippers didn't do, whether they didn't do it because of they weren't healthy or what have you, is I've never seen the Clippers, and I live out here in LA. I've watched them all year. I haven't seen the Clippers play any other defense other than man-to-man defense. Now, why didn't they go zone? Why didn't they try to trap? Why didn't they do something to try to break up the rhythm of Jokic? Jokic and Murray settled into the game because they knew defensively the Clippers only had so many options. There's only so many things you can do against a Jokic in particular because of his size, and he's a very unique player. They settled into a rhythm, and then it was like just taking candy from a baby. They were just like, well, if they go under, I'll shoot the three. If they try to help and recover, Jokic will roll. Oh, well, I'll just step back and see if my three ball is working. They were just picking the Clippers apart, and the Clippers never went to another defense. Now, I don't know if Jokic can continue to play like this, but certainly now we have to say the following. Jokic and Murray are, at the very least, are top 10 players in the NBA. They are a major problem. They're playing with a lot of confidence. And this kid Jokic, when I look at the top 5 players in the NBA right now, 3 of them are foreign-born players, okay? Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Giannis. These 3 players, okay, are making a statement for these foreign-born players because of the skill level of what they're bringing to the NBA. What Jamal Murray is doing right now at the guard position, okay, when he did in the first round, you're like, okay, well, he had he was hot. No, this kid is a real problem now. He's a serious problem. This kid is a problem in particular because his big man that he's getting screen or he's playing screen role with is probably better than he is. And this is a major issue for anyone moving forward because these 2 players in particular have shown now the skill level that's necessary to play in this league. They're doing things that we just haven't seen. You got to do something. If I'm the Lakers looking forward, I got to go zone against this guy because you can't double team him. You cannot double team Jokic. That's a fact. Some players you can't double team. You just got to live with it. Like Michael Jordan was one of those players. You got to say, well, he's got to get his, but I got to stop the other guys. Jokic now, after this series, he's got me rethinking the game. I'm going, well, I can't really double team this guy. I've never seen a guy that's like passing left hand, right hand, off the dribble, off the pass. He's like, I call him the most charming player I've ever seen in the NBA. He's charming. Why? Because he doesn't move fast. He looks like he should be playing with me. He doesn't jump high. He's not quick, but he's charming. And when he lost weight coming back into the bubble, I was a little concerned. I was like, he might lose his charm. But give him credit. This young man is exceptional. He's the real deal. He's a superstar. And I don't use that term lightly. I don't call people superstars. He is a superstar now. And right now, I'm really excited to look into the Western Conference Finals.
Mike, I wanted to give you the last take because, sometimes as naturally as human beings, when you see your ex go off somewhere else, especially when it's an amicable break, yeah, you can be a little bit frosty sometimes, yeah, especially when you feel like your ex is stunting on you because they say that they leveled up, yeah. But I ask you, yeah, you as a Raptors fan, when you watch Kawhi move to the Clippers this summer, and then all of the other variables that's gone with it, how do you feel now when you see them crash and burn?
Well, you talk about leveling up. Kawhi's leveled down, baby. The Clippers gonna clip. The Clippers gonna clip, and the curse continues. The curse continues. And hey, listen, I love Kawhi. I love what he did in that one season with the Raptors. The problem is, like we said, it's the lack of leadership. And Kawhi is a very extremely interesting player. And I think he does 2 things really well. He leads by example. And that's where he becomes your leader, and he stays super calm under pressure. So in big moments, he can really step up. But he is a very quiet guy, and sometimes as a team, you need to hear your best player's voice out there on that court, and they didn't really have that from him. But the Clippers knew this going in, so this can't all fall on Kawhi's shoulders. Doc Rivers and Paul George have a lot to answer for. And the rest of the team, this was supposed to be, the deepest team in the NBA. And, like, where was Lou Williams down the stretch? Where was Harrell? He was just getting abused by Jokic. Where's the depth? Like, was Reggie Jackson supposed to be our depth here? So I just never felt like I could trust this team the way that they were put together. They didn't really ever seem to have an identity. If you look look at another team like let's look at the Lakers, and you look at like their two best players, Bron and AD. That they made each other and the rest of the team better. With Kawhi and PG, I don't really get that feeling. I never got that vibe. I don't think they made each other better. It looked like more of a my turn, your turn type of offense, and the rest of the guys were kind of waiting to see what they did. And then the fact that they never really played that much together with the whole load management thing going on. It's not looking good for the Clippers. The Clippers basically mortgaged their future just for this season for Kawhi and PG. With this happening, with this early exit and all the pressure on them, things could fall apart quite quickly. You're looking at potential coaching change, no picks for the future, maybe some trades. Interesting times coming up for the Clippers. Yep. Clippers going Clip, baby.